Are you done?
Hey, what is happening, guys? This is the Lightning finally making my analysis video. I had a test, I had to finish up some stuff, but I'm off for the week from college, so yeah, there's a lot of videos coming your way this week, so I'm excited for that. So before I actually start the analysis video, I want to say that I'm going to be making 2 more videos regarding Final Fantasy 16 that regards to the story and Joshua. I'll explain more about it later on in the video, and without further ado, let's just dive straight into it.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant.
We start off with the trailer with the main character staring into the flame. Now this flame could represent that of what is to come later on in the trailer, with the entire village being burnt down to flames, and it also adds that element of the phoenix and the ifrit that also comes later on, showing that flames and fire is a big part of this Final Fantasy. Reminiscing on the past is most likely what the main character is doing here. He looks like he's a hunter, or maybe he's pretending to be a hunter with this mark on his cheek, and it looks like he is going through some stages. Also, they are talking about Shiva's dominant. Now, when they talk about Shiva's dominant, I instantly think about Final Fantasy X, when the summoners had their protectors or something similar to that sort, but now we are going to be fighting said protectors and said summons.
And only the dominant.
How do we even know the girl will be among us?
They only want to attack the dominant, and from what one of the hunters also said, how do we know she will be there? So we know it's a girl who is Shiva's dominant. Similar to Gentiana, you could simply say, from Final Fantasy 15, who was a somewhat avatar or a hidden replica for that of Shiva. So to me, I feel that there are people we have to kill in order to kill these version of these summons of Shiva and all of that, which is interesting. We also get to see the first sign of an M rating. Now I have so much of Final Fantasy Type 0 vibes, and this is one of the scenes with that blood and that pain. We don't see that mainly in Final Fantasy games, so I feel that this will be an M rated Final Fantasy, the second ever, first being Type 0.
Our kind do not question orders, we follow them.
Our kind do not question, we follow. This is very close again to the hunter's aspect, or what seems to be the main character reminiscing of. Is he truly a hunter? Maybe he's not a hunter, maybe he's just doing this to kill the dominants. And we also see that chocobos are being ridden within this game. Maybe we will get to fight chocobo and chocobo riders later on in the game. Who knows, maybe we'll be fighting in this war as well.
Sergeant, let's summon their icon.
Icon? That thing's a bloody mountain!
So we get to hear that there is a commander around this quote-unquote hunter guild, which is interesting. So then we get the first look at the icons, which is what the summons are known as within the world of Final Fantasy 16. It's so good to say that. We get to see Titan and we get to see Shiva. They look amazing. Oh my god. We then see Shiva actually fighting the Titan. So it looks like maybe the Titan is not on our side, as well as Shiva not on our side. So we might have to fight two icons at the same time, which I like. And then another man dies, so that's great. And blood splashes at the end. Very, very dark game, which I'm loving.
Our foe will not relinquish their mother crystal easily. This will be a bitter fight.
You should not be out of doors. We have discussed this. Come, Joshua.
Your father will be expecting us.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to protect him.
Then we get one of my favorite scenes within the entire trailer, and that is showing the world of Final Fantasy XVI. We got this night sky looking prince boy over here, thinking he's all that because of all that. So, but apparently there is another rivalry with crystals, bringing the whole crystal aspects back together. Now, of course, we see young boy Joshua over here. This girl, possibly Shiva's icon, possibly, I don't know. But we get to see the, I believe, the mother of Joshua. So I think it's the queen, and we see Joshua's shield, Joshua, and Joshua's friend right next to him. And of course, as Joshua is healing the main character, of course that means Joshua is somewhat of a white mage, and of course his mother is sick, because anything related to a white mage is sickly and cannot be healed. It's weird. But when Joshua actually healed, when he healed the main character, I believe that it passed down Phoenix, like the Phoenix summon, like his abilities, because we get to see that in combat later on in the trailer. And of course, with Joshua being, that is of course Joshua's father, I believe, who is walking next to Joshua, who I believe dies later in the trailer. So that's the thing. And then Joshua says goodbye to his protector. Notice that Joshua has an earring on the right side of his ear. I believe that is what symbolizes this city, this kingdom. People have earrings on the right side of their ear, because even the shield has a earring on the right side. So that's pretty cool. Also, that chocobo looks so cool. Oh, this is gonna be such a fun game. We see our first bit of combat, so it looks like there's a goblin type enemy. We see the main character using after image mirage to distract them, and then boom, there's also a character right next to him, so possibly a guild member who you can team up with. Reminds me of Noctis's moves from Final Fantasy 15. Also, there is air juggling. You notice this is very similar to Devil May Cry, because I believe the combat designer from Devil May Cry 5 is also working on Final Fantasy 16's combat. So yeah, there's a lot of air juggling, there's some blood being shown, and there's a fire attack symbolizing the Phoenix attack. Then we get a fire warp type of dash similar to that of Noctis, and then we get a finisher, boom, with the blood splatter as well, again for the M rating.
What do you mean you refuse? Did you not pledge your sword to our cause?
Then we have this scene with this, most likely I think is a commander of some sorts of the kingdom that is being mentioned over here. Most likely the rivalry of Joshua's kingdom. So apparently there is arguments of betrayal within this kingdom. I believe it's against Joshua for some reason, but maybe because of their attire. And we get a Marlboro! Oh, that looks scary. So we are fighting in the swamp area. We have the stanker breath that we have to dodge. Most likely we can combust that with fire attacks. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then we get some fighting and some finishers. It looks so awesome.
Does it matter? It was the Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms, was it not?
The Dalmex. So this could possibly be Joshua's homeland. The Dalmex could be their actual kingdom name, and then the Crusaders, those who are actually going for their crystal, for the Dalmex crystal, aka Joshua's crystal, and their kingdom's crystals. And they're also talking about a battle between realms. Now this is very interesting. We could take it into two aspects. Realms could be that of islands, as well as realms could actually be realms, such as one realm mainly focuses on fire, and that could be Joshua's realms and the Dalmex. And then Shiva's realm could be that of pure ice, water, what have you. And then Titan could be that of the earth realm. And then that's why we are within this earth realm area, but they have brought Shiva here to fight for more realms to dominate by one realm to rule all realms.
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our realm from the spread of the Blight.
Okay, before we talk about the Blight, we see this amazing shot of Titan looking like he's a serial killer, basically. God, that is a creepy smile. But besides that haunting look, we see this woman, of course. I think she may be a huge part in this game. Walk away. We see a woman in the background who looks so similar to that project type demo thing. And then we see our potential main character. Now they're talking about the Blight. When I think about the Blight, I am thinking about something like the Star Scourge from Final Fantasy 15, and also the Blight has infected Joshua's mama or maid, I don't know, but she doesn't want Joshua to be infected himself, so that's why she's asking for Joshua not to go outside and all of that, which is a very interesting dynamic. We see her cover her mouth because she possibly doesn't want the Blight, but possibly because she doesn't want to spread the Blight to that of Joshua, because Joshua could be the cure for all of this. Again, with the Phoenix aspect, because Phoenix is known for healing and all of that good stuff. And it looks like our main character knows that there is something above that he needs to do in order to stop the blunt.
Dragoon.
Then we get the Dragoon. Yes, the Dragoon looks so great in this depiction within the trailer. It looks fantastic. We see a somewhat cutscene, kind of reminiscent to, you know, the other Dragoon fights we have in the past. And again, with this style, with this setting, you could argue it's somewhat of a Witcher type setting. But yeah, we get some gameplay, but I have noticed that we are using a Phoenix wing in that uppercut. So possibly through the story we gain the powers of the icons, because later on we'll see this aspect as well. We see some more flashy gameplay, we see some dodging, parrying, that slick sidestep, and then we use a fire dash.
Imperial Vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
We then actually hear the name of the enemies, which is the Imperial Vipers. So we see a younger version of the main character. They actually name him Phoenix later on in the trailer, but that's when they show an older version of him, so I don't think... maybe he brought the Phoenix persona on later in life when he joined the Hunters. Maybe that's his Hunter in the code name. But apparently the Vipers are Imperials, so yeah. Then we actually go to a gameplay of a corral within a type of tower castle with the older version of Phoenix. This is Phoenix right here, and then we actually see we fight in a corral. This is a big corral, not gonna lie. Look at that boy spin. Oh, that's so good. Then we see a more open area where we fight a troll. Seems as if a Phoenix is doing a hunt within this realm. He is fighting this troll-like monster, and he is using some claws. So I feel that we have fought a monster within this area, which is the wind element, I presume, and we will be using their attacks, such as a claw, to do our hunts in that area.
The Archduke's son. The Phoenix.
Sweet Lord, Joshua's traumatized. God damn it, Square. Joshua sees his papa die because a traitor killed him, and there's blood on the child's face because Square Enix is going for that M rating. Hell yes. Then we see main character using the Phoenix uppercut yet again within the castle dorms. We see another after image mirage underneath him, and then we're doing some air juggling. It looks so good. We see a Titan fist over here, so it looks like we will be fighting the Titan somewhere, or maybe this is the older version of our main character. I think it is the older version actually, so yeah, who knows at this point. Persona. Yeah, Persona awoken, and Joshua is feeling the pain and the anxiety, and now Joshua, it seems people are are like standing around looking at Joshua. Then we see a phoenix fly down. Now again, I'm going to make 2 videos regarding this aspect of Joshua, whether he is Phoenix or whether he is Ifrit, and I'll be making a video on those two separate videos on those aspects, but I'm still going to be talking over here about it, so let's do.
Second life on a fire.
We slowly zoom in on this character, who I think is Joshua in some aspect. This could be the hidden humanoid form of Ifrit, because we see in this flaming eyes of evil. Imagine that looking at you in your sleep. That's scary. It awakens the fire, and this man who has fallen and he cannot get up says this man is on fire. Yes, we have seen this. Good analogy.
But that's impossible.
The man said it's impossible, but theoretically anything is possible if you put your mind at it. But in the realms of Final Fantasy XVI, this is impossible because only one icon per an element. That's why Titan is for Earth and Phoenix is for Fire. So Ifrit is unknown in this world. Great, I want to see Ifrit being a bad guy, but being unknown. I like. We see our first look at Ifrit, and my god, Ifrit looks amazing in this. He looks like he is from hell. He looks like he is a demon king. And it makes me believe he is a final boss. He looks legitimately like a final boss. Something from Dragon's Dogma, which I am going to start playing soon, hopefully. Yeah.
The legacy of the crystals.
The legacy of the crystal. Now, of course, Final Fantasy is not a Final Fantasy if it doesn't have a crystal. However, I honestly think that this goes very deep. It's like Final Fantasy 1 levels of importance for the crystal. So we see possibly the crystal splitting into 2 parts. That's why there are 2 fire elements. That could possibly be a thing in the game.
Has shaped our history.
Has shaped our history. They have always followed the rules of the crystals, and the Vipers had their own crystal, and basically everyone had their own crystal they had to follow the rules of. We see Phoenix using a somewhat of a solar flare move. We see a troll slash ogre. We are dodging. We see the war of the realms happening. We see Shiva attacking Titan, and Titan doing the Detroit smash. And then we see the Stabberoonie on the Marlboro, and Ifrit actually punching what looks to be a move from Phoenix. It could be the Flame of Death used on a fire element.
For long enough.
Now this for long enough finalizes the legacy of the crystals has shaped our history for long enough. So this story is breaking away from the rules of the crystals that were set by the ancestors of who is in charge of the realms. Again, those who collect all crystals or destroy all crystals rule all realms. We see this Ifrit destroying and tearing something with again blood splatter, and then we can hear someone saying, "Joshua, please wake up." Now there are 2 theories. Again, I will be splitting both of them into 2 more videos. I say Ifrit could be Joshua and they're trying to make him wake up, or it could be Phoenix who is getting destroyed by Ifrit, and Phoenix is that of Joshua. Ugh, it's very weird, but yeah, we do see blood splatter, and then we see Ifrit posing, basically flexing on the realms that, yeah boy, I killed Phoenix like a mad lad. And also he looks pretty scary. God damn, he looks so amazing. I love this character design. And then we get to the final part of the trailer.
I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
So within the game of Final Fantasy XVI, we have to protect the boy known as Joshua. That's what most people think, and I believe so. But since his name is Joshua, I think this Final Fantasy is going to be very biblical. So Chol will be the character's name from now. Chol, C-H-O-L, because I think it's a Hebrew name for sand, or also flame. I think, I'm not too sure, 100% sure. But yeah, we see the young character saying, "I will kill you," and then we see the older version of him possibly forsaken in his Chol like sense of protector. If it's the last thing I do, possibly going for vengeance for those who have killed Joshua, or going against Joshua himself. Again, there's two parts to the story that I will make a video on. And look at this character's eyes, look at the remorse, look at how he has turned out. And I thought this was his brother or evil side to him at first, but then I thought about it and it was just it's basically him, because it sounds so similar to the voice acting, and they look the same earring on the same ear, again same kingdom which Joshua was a part of. So we end off with a beautifully conducted flames, and then we see the Final Fantasy XVI logo, which hyped everybody up. We see Ifrit and Phoenix actually going at it, which I like. I really like this artwork. It looks fantastic. It gives that sense of nostalgia of old Final Fantasy mixed with the new generation of Final Fantasy, while keeping its roots well in place. I love this art because it represents the future and the past of the game. If you think about it, we have started from the ground and now we are high in the sky within the Final Fantasy community. This logo, this Final Fantasy, this game represents the Final Fantasy community, mainly because we've wanted a medieval Final Fantasy and we've got it. And of course, with Yoshi P being a part of this, you could see the Final Fantasy XIV vibes. I thought this was a Final Fantasy XIV expansion, but I'm seeing this now and I can see so much work is being put into it. Not just by directors or by co-directors or producers. It's being done by fans. Yes, directors and people who work at Square Enix are fans of the title, and you can see it. This Final Fantasy brings all of us together to what we are to be, which I honestly love. Anyway guys, that was my actual analysis video. I know I may have missed some stuff here and there. Maybe it's not the best analysis video. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm bad at what I do, but that's for you to let me know in the comment section down below, because you guys are always nice in the comment section down below. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. Please leave a like, helps me out a lot. Comment down in the comment section down below what you guys think. Share with friends, because sharing is caring, and most importantly, subscribe to become a fellow lightning bolt. Anyway guys, that is it for this video, and as always, this is the Lightning Chate. Blaze out.